Are you wanting to make a dessert that's guaranteed to impress even the most critical food critic? Today, our recipe is for gluten-free, keto-friendly chocolate cream pie. This is so light, so fluffy, it's like eating a chocolate cloud. Yum. If you want a printable version of this, you can check out my website at janetsdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you slide that mouse down underneath the screen, hit that big fat subscribe button, and also hit the little notification bell that's next to it. That way you can be notified every time I put out a new video. And while you do that, let's get cooking. In a 9-inch pie pan, combine 1 3/4 cup of almond flour or almond meal. I actually prefer almond meal for this recipe because it gives it more texture to the crust, but if all you have is almond flour, you can use almond flour. Either one works. Add 1/3 cup brown Swerve. You can use regular granulated Swerve if you want to. I just prefer the brown Swerve. It gives it a brown sugary taste, so I really like that in my crust. But if you don't have brown Swerve, you can always just use granulated sweetener of your choice. Add 1/8 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Use a fork and mix these all together until they're fully combined and there's no lumps left in the mixture. Now you might have to get in there and get your fingers in there and get all the lumps out because sometimes the brown Swerve likes to stick together. So if you can't get all the lumps out with the fork, then just get your fingers in there and just make sure all the lumps from the brown Swerve are completely out. You want a nice grainy texture. Once that's all stirred together, add a 1/2 cup of butter that's been melted and cooled. Make sure it's cooled completely. Then again, use your fork or your fingers. Then stir the butter into the almond meal mixture until all the ingredients are nice and wet. Once all the ingredients are wet, then use your fingertips or your fork or the back of a measuring cup and press the crust evenly across the bottom and up the sides of the pie pan. Make sure it's nice and firm. You want it to have a good firm texture. That way when you go to cut your pie, it doesn't fall apart. So make sure it's pressed nice and firm. Once the crust is all evenly pressed, then place it in the fridge until you're ready to use it. To make the pie, in a small bowl, combine 3/4 cup of cocoa powder and 3 tablespoons of butter that have been fully melted and cooled. And use a fork, blend the cocoa powder and the melted butter together until all the cocoa powder is moist. It's not going to saturate the cocoa, but all the cocoa powder should have some type of moisture on it. It's not going to form a liquid, but you do want the cocoa powder moist. Once the butter and cocoa powder are combined, then set it aside. And in a large mixer bowl, add 1 cup of softened butter. Make sure it is nice and soft. You don't want it melted, but you want it soft enough to where it will mix into the mixture nice and smooth without creating chunks. So make sure it is soft but not melted. Add 1 1/2 cups of powdered Swerve or powdered sweetener of your choice. Beat on medium speed for about 1 minute or until the butter and powdered Swerve are creamy. Scrape down the sides if needed. Then add the cocoa powder and butter mixture to the powdered Swerve mixture. And add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Beat these all together on medium for about 30 seconds or just until everything is completely combined. Scrape down the sides again if you need to. Then change your paddle attachment out to a whisk attachment on your standing mixer. Add 2 large eggs. Whisk them together on medium speed for about 5 minutes or until they're fully combined and smooth. Scrape down the sides again if you need to. And add 2 more large eggs. And beat again on medium speed for 5 more minutes or until it is completely combined and again nice and smooth. Scrape down the sides again if you need to. Then whisk it again on medium speed for 5 more minutes. You're wanting this mixture to expand and get nice and fluffy but still be firm enough to be able to hold its shape. Then one more time, if you need to, scrape down the sides again. And whisk it one more time on medium speed for 5 more minutes or until everything is 100% smooth and light and fluffy in texture. Remove your pie pan from the refrigerator and gently scoop the filling into the prepared pie crust. Use a spatula and evenly spread the filling throughout the entire pie pan. Once the filling's evenly spread, place it in the refrigerator and chill it for at least 2 hours or until it's nice and firm. Once it's done firming up, you can either eat it as it is or you can top it with whipped cream or whipped topping of your choice and sprinkle on some chocolate shavings or chocolate curls. And if you want recipes for some keto whipped cream and some keto chocolate, I'll leave those links in the description for my keto whipped cream and my keto chocolate. Now I have 2 different types of whipped cream recipes that you can use on this. The one is just regular keto whipped cream that I make, and again, I'll put that link in the description. If you're going to use that particular recipe, then you don't want to put it on until you're ready to serve it, because that is not a stabilized whipped cream. It's one that you make and then use it right away. You can't put it in your refrigerator because it will deflate, and then you'll have to re-whip it to make it fluffy again. So the keto whipped cream, if you use that recipe, make sure you don't put it on until you are ready to use it immediately. The other recipe that I'm going to put in here is the stabilized keto whipped cream. This whipped cream you can make in advance and you can keep it in your refrigerator for up to a week and it stays nice and fluffy. That's the one I use most of the time. You can spread the whipped cream on the entire pie, or you can do what I do, and I just let people cut their individual slices and put their desired amount of whipped topping on it. That way it can have however much topping they want. And there you go. Gluten-free, keto-friendly chocolate cream pie. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that big fat thumbs up like button and hit that big fat subscribe button. Leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.